That should help. I hope. Okay. Alright. So, what do we... I have decided... Oh my god. Dropped frames. Lots of drop frames, it tells me. I don't know how to fix that. That's been happening for over 2 years. Every time I stream, I get lots and lots of notifications about dropped frames, and I don't know how to fix that. So, you know, it's gonna have to happen, I guess. I've decided I just want to play some Team Fortress 2 today. If I can figure out why it's not picking up my... I don't think it is. It might be, actually. Yeah, it is. Okay. I've decided I'm just going to queue all of the maps, and then we're just gonna jump into it and hopefully be able to just play. Edwin said he might join. And again, he might not, you know. This is I zoomed out a little bit. It's my little space. It's where I play video games and record and stuff. I got my my hot chocolate. I'm doing well, I think. I would be doing a whole lot better if I could get into the video game. Actual honest to goodness video game. We're gonna try to add a new thing to the sources.
Added.
There we go. I was a little bit scared that it was going to crash the stream like Vaporeon did that one time. But it did not. So that's... It looks to just be an actual game, like no bots. Fun fact, this is the first time I've actually you know, without having a bunch of shit, without having to, like, record.
Has almost reached the final terminus. You failed.
That was new. I just thought it was like a capture the flag map. I just thought they captured the same one, like snowplow. You know what I mean? Like they, no. Because the snowplow you actually do capture. Okay, never mind. I'm crazy. I'm just crazy.
Prepare to compete in 60 seconds.
Again? So, I have a touch carrier like at all. So. They all just jump in the house. Okay, that door doesn't open. Why have doors that don't open?
Prepare to compete in 30 seconds.
Crazy.
Prepare to compete in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The mission begins in 60 seconds.
What about that? Oh, that's too loud. What about that? Are they just talking about... Just saying some nasty, nasty things over in chat right now.
Mission begins in
Yeah, a
30
friend gave it.
seconds.
I can't remember their name. I have trouble with names. I have so much trouble with names that I just don't. I don't know what to play.
Mission begins in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't want to make it too loud, because if I make it too loud, or I could just move it physically closer, I suppose. I don't want to make it too loud, because then it'll start to peak and hurt people's ears. I could just also turn down the desktop audio a little bit. What about that, Prince? How's that? It's perfect, okay. We win. Or not, I mean... I killed someone with the Dragon's Fury. Got him. I got the fucker. That's a spy. That's that is definite. That is dead ass. Oh my god. I got fucking got, dude. Got. Oh well. Yeah, sorry, I have a bad habit of just cranking everything. Hey, Jeff! Hey, Jeff. I didn't expect to see you here. All of my friends know I'm streaming. What a cock. What an asshole, dude. The gas passer ignores afterburn on pyro. I don't have the gas pass. Oh shit. I don't have the gas passer. I've got the flare man. I think the guys are telling this little man that he needs to go in the hole. I'm pretty like positive he knows he's supposed to go in the hole. He just doesn't want to go in the hole. It's a 2-shot with the extinguisher. Awesome, dude. 2-shot with the extinguisher. You know what else is a 2-shot with the extinguisher? A lot of things. Actually, probably. This is the only Dragon's Fury I use. The dragon themed one. I think it's weird that this is the only skin that is restricted to only stock weapons or this weapon. I mean, it makes sense. It came out with the Jungle Inferno update, but still, I mean, it's kind of weird, I think. I also think it's kind of weird that I chose Pyro. I, like, never choose Pyro. It's time to test the limits. What can Pyro do to the robot? It's a sniper? Well, you know, we try. Well, I knew the gas passer made Pyro take afterburn. I mean, that's one of the main uses of it, wasn't it? To make Pyro take afterburn? I mean, also to, like, set off entire groups of people, but still. Make Pyro take afterburn, that's what it's always been for, I thought. I'm stuck, I'm stuck! Why the hell do I have the panic attack equipped? What the hell was I doing with this loadout? The fucking direct hit, the panic attack, and the stock shovel? What the hell? Why do I have a strange shovel? Do I have any idea how to play this fucking game? What am I doing? I had the direct hit. I had a direct hit, I had a panic attack and a stock shovel. But I had a strange shovel, so it's weird that if I was going to use the stock, why didn't I use the strange one? I don't know, man. God, it's weird. It's so weird. The strange one is too scary. I probably did get it around Halloween. Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know why. Like, the strange shovel has little to no use for me anyway. I mean... Oh shit, I'm having... Oh shit. I want a strange original, but I've never taken the time to like actually devote myself to buying the strange original. Speaking of the buff banner, dude, when I was younger, right? I used to buy strange variants of all the new festive weapons they would bring out, and I bought a strange buff banner, right? A strange festive buff banner. And when I bought the strange festive buff banner, I decided, hey, I'm going to sell it one day because I wanted to buy a game or something. Strange festive buff banner at that time was going for like $11 on the Steam community market. So I was like, wow, this is perfect. So I went to go, Strange Original is like $300. Wow, that's... I'm not going to ever own a Strange Original. Anyway, I went to sell the Strange festive buff banner. And something happened that shook me to my core for the rest of my life. When I went to go list the Strange festive buff banner for sale on the Steam community market, I went to type in $11, but I only typed 1-1. So I just listed it for a fucking dollar, and that went immediately. And I've never gotten over it. Like, it's one thing to overprice it by accident, right? And then, you know, because you could just take it back down. But ever since they introduced the whole buy order system, sometimes I list stuff, and, you know, if you input the wrong price and it's under one of the buy orders, it's just gonna sell immediately. It was such a kick in the nads, dude. Oh shit. Thank you. Also, when this Warpaint came out, the cardboard box skin, and I put it on the black box, I thought I was just the shit. I was the best. Oh, motherfucker! I just got owned. I got fucked. Yeah, it was not awesome. When shit like that happens, it comes back to haunt you. That's the kind of shit that you do, selling things on Final Fantasy XIV or Team Fortress 2 for way lower amounts than they're worth. That's the kind of shit that, like, you wake up in 3 years in the middle of the night and you think, I did that. I actually did that. Oh my god. I mean, I've never, you know, I don't play Final Fantasy 14, so I don't know how much that impacted you. Doing it for real world money, though? Oh god. Oh my god, it hurt. It hurt so bad. Jesus. At least I didn't delete a golden pan. That's the kind of shit you just don't do on accident. That is something you'd have to do specifically on purpose, I feel like. Gotcha. Motherfucker. God, what an idiot. That guy was an idiot. Fuck you. My attack packs has reached a new rank fashionable. I tried. You have 24 MVM tickets you've not used. Today was supposed to be an MVM stream, but I decided doing a whole tour today was not something I could devote the time to doing. I do want to, though. I've wanted to for like 2 years, to just sit down one day and do an MVM tour stream, like a whole tour in one stream. That's something that I can really only stand to do if there are other people doing it with me. And honestly, just not something that is easy to like organize within my friend group these days. I'm getting peppered, dude. Didn't deserve that kill. Did not deserve that kill. You play a lot of MVM. I used to. There was like a whole... Is that scout bigger than normal? They got a fucking sentry up there? Oh god! I used to play a lot of MVM, but there was like a whole 2 years that I just... Basically all I did was play MVM. I might have to hit people up one day. You've done like 30 tours and 0 Australians. The good news is you are overdue for an Australian. Because I think the average is like 20... For every 20 tours, you're supposed to have like gotten at least 1 or 2 Australians. God, why do people want to play carrier so bad? I'm gonna roll the dice. I found a game with no bots, but I'm gonna roll the dice. I want to play some other maps too besides carrier, but apparently people just really want to play carrier. Yeah, I got, I think I got like 7 tickets. Yeah, 7 tickets. Why do I have a silver bot killer medigun? I must have got that actually from the last MVM tour I did. I'm also a little bit of a psychopath. I've never organized my backpack. I literally just use that little drop down menu and organize it by like whatever, by like name or quality or whatever. But I know that there are some people that particularly like to organize their backpack. Oh. I was gonna let him live and then I decided I didn't want to. Was that the fucking Halloween health pack? That someone is me. You make it sound like you play a lot of MVM, but I know there are people out there with like multiple, like hundreds of tours. What is this? Meow, 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 meow. Winter High Tower. Yeah, I know it's Winter High Tower. I just didn't know that there was, I just didn't know that there was, like, an actual, you know... Oh, shit. I tried. Why TF2 hate Fortnite? I like TF2 and Fortnite. Why? I mean, I don't like Fortnite personally because I don't like, I personally just don't like, I personally just don't like, battle royales. Battle royales to me, they just don't scream something that I'm willing to play. And that's because I like when I'm playing a game, I like to know what I have. Right? I like to know that, hey, I'm going to hey, I'm going to have a shotgun, I'm going to have a rocket launcher. I don't like to play this whole fucking game where, like, I have to go find something, right? Oh my god, what was that? My cat's just knocked something over. Deadass knocked something over. I think they're in there fucking around with the hamburger helper boxes. It's just a matter of, It's just a matter of, you know, liking what I do. Now, I've never played the new Guitar Hero mode, right? Or the new Lego modes that they have. So I can't speak to the quality of those. No, I just don't like battle royales. In order for a battle royale or a roguelike to really click with me, there has to be some kind of mechanic of permanence, right? So Dead Cells, you can like upgrade certain things, and you know, you can eventually you become better and better. Like, there are certain things you can't do, right? But then there are, at the same time, there are things that you can upgrade, and you know, you always have this level of permanence. But with battle royales, you don't have that level of permanence. So you just hop in, and then you have to go and find... I shouldn't have gotten away with that. You have to hop into a game, and then you have to go and you have to, like... I mean, I don't... You know, we can disagree. That doesn't mean anything. I have played Fortnite. I could get down with this whole spy thing. I don't know. I don't know why that killed me. Like, I was waiting with such giddy anticipation. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna fucking shoot the shit out of that guy. Doom 2 has the best LMS game mode. What is the LMS game mode? What is that? You're bad at spy. So am I. But like, I saw El Maxo's video on it, and I wanted to give it a shot. Last Man Standing. I didn't know they had. If you have the ability to put a gun in TF2. I think Endic, what would it be? I've always, I wanted for Pyro to have a long time ago when I was doing the community server, there was something in progress for a little while that we were trying to do. And oh yay. Whoa, am I playing with the real Dr. Teeth from the Electric Mayhem? A long time ago when I was doing the community server, something that I really, really wanted to do was to give Pyro a water gun. So instead of a flamethrower, it would be a water gun, right? And that way there would be something that could make the Neon Annihilator or similar item, you know, work without needing a map that has water, because they're a little rare. Oh shit. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna, you know, make that, and we never got anywhere with it because I could not make it work reliably. But that was the intention anyway, was, oh, that guy's so fucking mad right now. It should be a secondary. Well, the idea was that there would be a whole lot of... There would be a secondary to go with the water gun. And basically the air blast would basically just work the same way as a normal air blast does. You would, you know, dry people off with it and put people out. I hadn't yet. It was a pretty nice butter knife. I should not have been allowed to get away with that. You think the water gun will work better with spy? Well, the idea was that actually makes me so fucking mad. The idea was Pyro would get something that could make use of the Neon Annihilator, but at the same time wouldn't be able to use the flamethrower. I'm trying to figure out how to make the Dead Ringer work reasonably, and I'm not dying a lot, but I don't know if that's due to... I don't know if that's due to any kind of skill. I'm literally just walking around. I got killed by Piss Man. I don't know. I just thought having a way to use the Neon Annihilator, and I want to say there was another thing that works underwater. I don't remember it though. I just thought that would be so cool to be able to use it, but you couldn't actually damage anybody. Would be good for spy checking, I guess, but I guess like it could be, but that was never really the intent. I just wanted to, you know, I just thought it would be nice. It would be neat. But long ago, I lost the plans for that. In fact, the community server stuff, if I could give the Heavy a new minigun, what will it be? I've never had any ideas from miniguns, but there was somebody who used to watch the stream. I don't remember their name, but they one time suggested a minigun that upon shooting somebody, you would set people on fire. So we tried to also implement that. So we tried to implement that too, where we made... How did I get stuck fighting two pyros? But we tried to implement the minigun so that way, you know, you could do it. We really, really wanted to prove to this guy that it was not a balanced concept. Because he would watch the streams and he made that video because I used to do things with custom weapon concepts, and so he messaged us on the stream and he was like, oh, give Heavy a minigun that sets people on fire, and then when you set people on fire enough, it like would activate crits or something. And it's like, it's a great rework. I mean, maybe so, but I mean, imagine the strength of something like that. Being able to set people on fire from just miles and miles away. What the fuck is happening? I just don't think setting people on fire from that far away would, you know, be good. And then he wanted to add the effect where, like, you could, like, activate a Kritzkrieg, and it's like... And then I think he said that the bullets would deal, like, very little damage. And I'm like, okay, but the problem is you're still setting people on fire, and then... And that you're still setting people on fire and also still damaging them with the minigun. And in order to make up for the bullets having little to no damage, you want to add a Kritzkrieg part too, like your own personal Kritzkrieg that you just activate whenever you want. That's not balanced. It was such a crazy idea, but I've never had thoughts for a minigun myself. I shouldn't be allowed to get away with this. I shouldn't be allowed. I will admit, it was a little bit out of spite to prove that guy wrong, but whatever. I mean, whatever people want to think up, I'm not, you know, opposed to people doing things that they want to do, right? I just think if you're going to make something, at least pretend like you're going to make something balanced. Because if I just wanted to make something that was stupidly overpowered, I could do that, but I mean, eventually, like, it's no longer fun if you're using something that's super, super, super powerful. It's no fun for you or the other team, eventually. Eventually, you're just gonna get bored of doing it, right? You would think, anyway. Some people, they just want to win, and that's their entire motivation. I'm sure if you put weapons from a lot of other games into TF2, the game balance would break. Like, I have no doubt about that. I mean, if you're just moving them directly from one to one, I mean, we do have other weapons from other games, of course, like the original or the classic. Those are from other games, or the Machina, or the Diamondback. I mean, they're from other games, but you know, design-wise, anyway. If you just move them one for one, mechanics-wise, I'm sure it would break the game. Not only that, but it would just probably just be way too much of a fucking pain in the ass to even attempt to implement them, I'm sure. Okay. I just wanted to try playing Spy again. Hadn't played Spy really well in a long time. Box. TF Classic, not the original TF2 Classic. Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of those weapons are designed with the intention of... It's kind of weird. TF2 Classic is, like, initially started out as, like, a reimagining of Team Fortress Classic, right? But in TF2's engine. But now they're adding a lot of their own stuff, so it's kind of just becoming another TF2 in a way. I mean, didn't they add some kind of, like, entirely unique like 4-player capture the flag mode or something? Yeah, I'm not getting out there. Which, I mean, 4-player TF2, I mean, 4-team TF2 is interesting in its own right, I suppose. Why would I do that? Is this guy just quoting House? TF2 is such a weird game. Oh man. Okay, so Spy with the... I don't think another company would do better with TF2 than Valve, no. Holy shit, I'm killing this game, dude! Here's the thing about Valve. I think Valve are the best at what they do, but the issue is with little to no structure that Valve has, where you're just allowed to jump into whatever you want whenever you want with no semblance of like structure. You're just going to always be in the middle of changing products. People are never going to be devoted to one thing. And why? I saw a Y, but it's gone now. Valve is... I will always believe that Valve is the best at what they do. It's just... You know, when things become... When things like the bot crisis happen, right? You have to understand that it's a numbers game. They've only got 300 people working at Valve or something last time I checked, and they're not all game developers. That includes things like secretaries, and that includes things like secretaries and office workers and, you know, whatever. So there's 300 people, right? Well, how many people are making bots? How many people are managing bots? How many bots are even out there, right? So if you've got 300 people going through the process of manually banning, I don't know, 150 bots a day, that's still only half of the amount of time you're doing it. That's only half the amount of people you've got working there for one person. And then they're spending all their time banning bots and trying to combat the bots. But you also have to take into account the fact that there are probably way more people running these bots than there are people to combat them. So I don't think another company should be given TF2 because I feel like that's defeating the point. It's sad to say, but it's probably not even just worth fighting it. It takes a lot to fight something like that, especially since we know how powerful the internet is and how powerful the internet can be. People on the internet, they will do things for the funny. I mean, if you're talking about just making content, then yeah, right? The problem is Counter-Strike is, I hesitate to say, a more popular game, but it is definitely probably bringing in more income than Team Fortress 2 is anymore. Because people are already constantly just bashing on things that get added, so what's the point of adding stuff to a game if you know the people you're adding it for, they're just going to say it's all shit and terrible anyway? And Counter-Strike 2 is also a much easier game to do. Counter-Strike 2, I think, is basically just CSGO, but made in Source 2, which makes sense with the naming convention. Well, then you have to it might be the most popular game on Steam right now, or the third most popular game, but then you have to wonder, is that because it's Source Engine? But the problem is the Source Engine is deprecated. It's going away. Even Garry's Mod 2 is shifting over to Source 2. Then there's the problem of how much content is in TF2. And look at Source 2. I mean, look at Counter-Strike 2, for example. Counter-Strike 2, they moved it to the Source 2 engine, right? But then they removed most of that stuff that was in Counter-Strike Global Offensive to do that. Did they have to? No, but it's probably just easier than having to upscale a bunch of models to make them look better. And if they do with Team Fortress 2, if they did like with Counter-Strike 2, right? Then all of this stuff, there's a good chance that all of this stuff that I have, it just disappears. I can't use it anymore. Because they made TF2 Source 2, right? But they didn't bother to make all of this stuff, you know, usable in the new Source 2 version of the game. So it all goes away. And then they unlist the Source 2 version of the game. Or they unlist the Source Engine version of the game. Then what? I mean, people are already pissed that there's bots, but then, you know, they're already pissed that there's bots in the game, so they upgrade to Source 2 to make it easier to manage, to clean up the code, or whatever the point of moving to Source 2 would be. And then, sorry, I'm trying to focus on the game too. They upgrade to Source 2 to make the game easier to manage. And then they don't make everything else work. People are already pissed about the bots. So how do you think people are going to react when you upgrade to Source 2? Yeah, but it's not just weapons. Counter-Strike 2, there was a lot of stuff that didn't get moved. Their cosmetics and their you know, whatever. I don't think any of that ever moved to Source 2. There was something like that anyway. They could have fixed it by now too. But I remember people being mad that a lot of stuff didn't move over or didn't translate. I don't quite remember. It's an argument that I have thought out, but I don't quite have the words. I don't quite have the words to communicate what I'm saying, but the point is, like, if you upgrade to Source 2, that doesn't just fix all of the problems. And I think eventually I do think eventually that Team Fortress 2 will, you know, get more attention on it maybe, but the fact that you know, this game is still up and running at all is kind of a miracle. I mean, for example, Overwatch, they completely took the original version of Overwatch down, changed a couple things and, you know, put up the new one, right? And that game was only up for 6 years, I think. The fact that a game like this has lasted 15 years, to me, it's impressive. But I think really what we need to do with Team Fortress 2 is I wish the bot problem was easier to fix, because I feel like the idea of the bot problem has been kind of perpetrated in a way that makes it sound like Valve has the answer to it, but they're squatting on it like a greedy little gremlin. When combating something like that, like people think that just giving it over to another company or the community or whatever it's going to fix all the problems. Everything's gonna, you know, just get fixed all of a sudden, and that's not quite how it works. I mean, it might help a little bit with the amount of content being pushed out, but really that bot problem is the main issue with it. I mean, I'm happy with the content in Team Fortress 2 just being skins and maps forever. I think the balance is pretty good, and introducing more weapons. What if people... I mean, Valve hires people all the time. That's another thing, is that people think what if they just hire people to work on it? They could, but there's a sort of office politics that I think would evolve from that, because I don't know if you know this, but Valve hires veteran game programmers. They don't really hire people who don't know what they're doing. Even if they don't know how to use Source Engine, they probably know how to use a game engine. And learning how to use another game engine after you know how to use one usually isn't that complicated. So, but when they hire people, they'll probably be able to figure it out or be trained on how to use it properly. Even I know how to use it to an extent. I mean, it's really not complicated. It's very, very easy to use Source Engine comparatively. But it's not just the engine, it's the cybersecurity, it's the anti-cheat, things like that you don't develop directly in the Source Engine. And then, you know, they have people that can use it. But if they hire people to work only on Team Fortress 2, what is that going to do when you're only allowed to work on one thing, but all of your co-workers are allowed to just move from project to project and do whatever they want? You know, me or you, if we were given the opportunity, we might be happy with that arrangement, right? We love Team Fortress 2. We want to fix Team Fortress 2. But if you're just a game developer just looking to get in at Valve and you don't care if it's Team Fortress 2 or Counter-Strike 2 or whatever, and they hire you and there's a stipulation in your contract saying you can only work on Team Fortress 2, I mean, that's gonna breed resentment eventually. Why does Jack and Eric and Robin get to do whatever they want, but I have to only work on Team Fortress 2? Well, I mean, to be frank, they do give us stuff. They add maps and war paints and hats and stuff. I mean, they do add things pretty frequently. It's just people are mad because, you know, it's not a gun or whatever. Which, I don't think the game really needs any more guns. There's already plenty of guns. It's just mad. It's just like it stings when, you know, the game used to have very frequent updates. It used to have, you know, every year you could expect at least 1 or 2 major updates, themed updates with update pages and things like that. Well, yeah, they're made by the community, but I mean, it's better than nothing, right? I mean, Team Fortress 2, since its inception, has pretty much had things that have always been made by the community. It's not a unique thing that they're doing now. Now that they're it's not something that they're only doing now because they've gotten lazy. I'm trying to think of the name. Mountain Lab? I don't know if you know about Mountain Lab. Well, Mountain Lab is a Valve-made map, right? Valve made that map, and then during the production of Mountain Lab, they were doing an art pass, and then they had some kind of data failure. They lost all of the art pass data on Mountain Lab, but they had the basic framework for Mountain Lab, the layout and all. So what they did is they gave that to the community and said, you know what, why don't you guys do an art pass on it and make it look, you know, like a TF2 map and not some piece of shit, right? You know, develop. Oh, hi. Hey, Edwin.
I'm here for a little bit. Cooking cookies right now.
You're cooking cookies.
I'm clicking them. I'm clicking them so hard right now.
You're clicking cookies.
Yeah, I love.
I was talking about.
numbers dog.
I was talking about Team Fortress 2. I was being.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
I was being questioned about Valve's priorities and things, and
priority is Steam. Like, that's the money maker. Who cares about the game?
yeah, I mean that
No,
is true. The development of Steam is probably one of their biggest priorities.
Yeah.
I'm also
like-
playing Spy. I'm not doing terrible with Spy today, actually. Why don't you give us something
Right,
good?
that's
I mean,
fine.
they could hire people that the community let them work on TF2. I've got news for you, buddy. They did that.
Yeah, they've been done that.
They back during 2015. I don't know if you were around, but during 2015, late 2014, mid 2015 or so, they had the Invasion update, which was an update that Valve approached the community about doing, because they had run a bunch of contests featuring alien cosmetics and stuff, and so people were like, okay, so Valve went, okay, why don't we approach the community that's running these events and ask them to make content specifically for Team Fortress 2 revolving around aliens, right? And, okay, so you know about the alien update. So, do you know about what happened to the alien update? Why they won't just hire community members to run full updates anymore? Hire people who are good and not bad? Well, the reason they're, you know, getting content from the community workshop is because that's what they're doing. But when you introduce an aspect of being officially hired by Valve, then all of a sudden it's no longer about passion, it's about money. How are you going to make money on this game? There was infamous controversy with that update because it all started as like, oh, we all love Team Fortress 2, we're making content for Team Fortress 2 because we love it, and then it devolved into devolved into, I did more work, I get more money, right? They were good people, but, you know, when they got hit with the prospect of making money, then all of a sudden they were no longer good people. That happens. And how are you going to gauge somebody, you know, who is good or bad? I mean, I work in a position right now where I have to make that distinction, and sometimes you think somebody's a good worker, and then you get there and you start working with them and you realize, wow, this person is a piece of shit. They're lazy. They don't want to do anything. I mean, you know, shit happens, right? So Like, it sounds very, very, very simple. All you have to do is... I could disconnect and invite you to the party, couldn't I? Hello? Are you still here? Yeah, you are. I'm sorry. Darwin in my room right now. Nah, I'ma hop off. Okay, fine. Yeah. I mean, they're all good ideas. You have hire people and at least like remove the bots fully. Well, with the bot problem, that's complicated because I started talking about it earlier, then I got sidetracked for. But the bot problem, they've only got 300 people working at Valve, which sounds like a lot, and it could be a lot. But how many people do they have making bots? I mean, I know for a fact that they have been banning bots, but they're popping up more frequently than they can get banned. And that causes problems. So when you've got people who are working a 9 to 5 who also have other responsibilities to work on, that's not just Team Fortress 2. What happens when they devote themselves almost entirely to working on bots and removing bots? Well, they can work as much as they want, but they're only 1, 2, maybe 5 or 6 people. But then you've got an entire internet of people out there who are investigating source code and decompiling fixes and just all kinds of stuff to figure out how to get around any fixes you've made or done. Well, I mean, they might have a lot of money, but you can't just throw more people at the problem. Throwing more people at the problem just means more people to get in each other's way. I mean, they'd have to, it's not impossible. They could do it. It's just, you've got more people looking to bring them down than they have people to fight against the issue. Well, speaking of bots. For coding, making games, and other stuff. I mean, all of that's, that's a good point. They could, theoretically, they could just do that. They could just start assigning people to different projects. But their design philosophy really hinges on the idea that you do your best work if you're not being forced to work on it. That's their that's where their focus is. Yeah, they do, but then you get things like crunch, and then you get games that are forced, like they have things in them that maybe the developers didn't want to put in them, but they were told, oh well, we make more money if we do this, so put this in there, and that's what happens. And Valve doesn't really have a whole lot of that. I mean, they do that, but you don't want to force somebody to do something they don't want to do, but in a lot of instances, that's kind of what you have to do if you want to fix a problem like that, if you want to make something successful. So maybe so, but that would be a very radical change, and it doesn't just happen overnight. They can't just walk in one day and Gabe Newell start handing out assignment sheets, right? Because they've been working for 20 years with no structure. They're able to just jump from what they want to do to something else if they want to do. Powerhouse infamously was being made for TF2's launch, got put on the back burner, never came up, and then some guy wheeled his desk back into the office and decided, hey, I'm gonna finish making this TF2 map. And that kind of stuff happens, right? And it could happen, and it's not terrible. but you know, if they just change it overnight, it's not gonna go over well. People will probably drop like flies. Like I said, these aren't a lot of them are not newbie out of college game developers. They're mostly veteran game developers. They could get a job just about anywhere they want, especially in the Seattle area where a lot of other companies are, and they could probably easily get hired in other places. So it's that. But it's all just theory, and I can't fix it as much as I want because I'm not a game developer. So I don't know anything about game development at all. They could think for once? Well, I mean, they obviously do think. I mean, they obviously do think. I mean, they launched the Steam Deck. That was a pretty big success for them. And Proton. And that's probably where a lot of the resentment comes from. Valve does do a lot of work. It's just they're probably not doing all of it on Team Fortress 2. And that, I imagine, could lead to some sort of resentment in the community. Because Valve, actually, they had... I don't know if it matters to anyone but me, but Valve has done a lot of great work. Valve has done a lot of great work in the Linux gaming space, where, I don't know if you know what Wine is, but they took Wine and they were able to make that so that Linux plays a lot of those video games that are only compatible with Windows. And that is a wonderful thing to do, because that allows people to, allows and enables people to be able to go outside of what they have always used, Windows or Mac, and move on to something like Linux, which arguably has a lot more capability than Windows or Mac combined. Make another section for new game developers. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that because why would you want to hire new game developers when you could hire veteran game developers that, you know... I mean, I know you want something, but the... Oh, I got a gift. I know you want something. You know, I want something too. But you have to understand that in order to get something, it has to be made, and the process of making something is not quite as easy as people like to make it out to be. And it's not confusing that you want something, it's just there are other variables to consider. You can't just hire people and throw people at the problem. Again, like I said, I'm in a position now where we're very, very short on people, but we're very, very short on people, and we want more people, but we can't just start hiring people out of nowhere. We can't, because we're just not able to. We're not able to just start hiring people and throwing people at it, because that doesn't guarantee that the problems that we're having are any kind of are like going to be fixed or are being addressed. It just guarantees that we have more people. So in theory the problem could be fixed, but theory and actuality and practice and execution, that, you know, that's not the same thing. But yeah, we want people, and I want I want more content in Team Fortress 2. I wish we could go back to the way it used to be, where every few months we would get major updates, and you know, we would everybody would get on the game and play and experience the content all at the same time. I wish we could go back to doing that too, but fortunately it's not always that it's not always that easy. It's something that you would have to it's something that you would have really have to actually let me find the words. Yeah, you just can't hire people and throw them at it and expect the problem to go away. It's just not that easy. People get in each other's way, it breeds contempt. Did you hear about the guy who was making TF2 in Fortnite? No. I have not heard about the guy who was making TF2 in Fortnite. Hello, Hatter. What do I think about it? I mean, I think it's a guy making TF2 VR TF2. You can play TF2 in VR. At least you used to, anyway. I mean, TF2 has a VR. TF2 has a VR mode. TF2 has a VR mode. Way back when the Oculus Rift was being produced or manufactured, there was a way to go in to this console here and activate TF2 in VR for the Oculus Rift. I've tried it. It doesn't work on mine. My set's over here. It's right here. And I have tried it. I wanted to do a video about it. Fortunately, I was not able to make it work. It didn't do anything. I mean, like, I would punch it in, and more often than not, the game just crashed. Is it for, I imagine it's for Gmod. I've never tried any sort of VR mod for TF2. TF2 just has too much complicated movement to make it worth wanting to try VR, really. It's one of those novelty things that you try for a few minutes and you're like, whoa, that's neat, but you know, it never goes anywhere because it's, well, how are you supposed to translate mouse and keyboard to this? I mean, this doesn't, you know, this doesn't work as well for Team Fortress 2 as the mouse and the keyboard, but it's, it's whatever, right? You can try it all you want, make it work, but but it's whatever. I mean, whatever you want to do, make stuff for TF2. I mean, TF2 is one of those games where I wholly support you wanting to make things for Team Fortress 2, because you can access its sound effects, its models, its animations for construction. The guy who worked on it actually worked on it very well. Yeah, well, I mean, if he's making if he's making the game, I'd imagine so. They have TF2 VR in hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. I just, the game gives the files to make mods in the game folder. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Just H3 VR was so fun with TF2. Is that a question? I had fun. I mean, but it's only fun for like 10 minutes before, you've seen everything that it has to offer to you. I think it's fine. Try it. I mean, I like it. Why do people want to enable Halloween on Christmas? The concept of that makes no sense to me. He knew what I was trying to tell him. VR Lethal Company? I've never even played normal Lethal Company. Where have I been? I've been under a rock. Is Source Filmmaker 2 not public? I would have. If you had a gun to my head and you said is Source Filmmaker 2 public, I would have died. What the fuck? I think Source Filmmaker is very powerful. I think you can do a lot with it, but the issue is it hasn't Source Filmmaker has not the original one that I guess is public. It's not it hasn't been touched in so long. It's getting old, and it's not hard to see why people in the it's not hard to see why people in the TF2 community are starting to move toward Blender. Like, the more I play the video game, the more content I create. I'm in a lot of content creation circles for it, and I'll ask some people sometimes for like help with something in Source Filmmaker, and they'll just be like, just use Blender, and I'm like, why would I use Blender? I mean, I've been using Source Filmmaker like all my life, since I was like 12. Right, that's how long it's been out. I just know Source Filmmaker like front and back and center. And I don't know that much about Blender. You know, but it's whatever, you know. See, but I knew people a while back who were using Source Filmmaker too. I just thought it was out. I thought it was public. I mean, they can access it either way, so I guess maybe it's not like public knowledge, but it's available to the public. I mean, if Valve wants to hide it, they could have hidden it, and they didn't do that, so. Meow. That you would have to define crutch weapon to me. At this point, I've just completely lost the idea of what crutch weapon means. Because a lot of what used to be considered crutch weapons, they've been changed a lot. And they no longer have the elements that would have made them define as crutch weapons. I'm waiting. Do I remember the Spy versus Engineer update? A little before my time. they could add the spy versus engineer update again. I guess. Sorry. A literal crutch as a melee weapon? That's not something I've ever heard. What do you mean they could add back the spy versus engineer update? What does that mean? Do another spy versus engineer? Oh. I was thinking the spy versus sniper. Yeah, well, I mean, if it got canceled, there's probably a good reason for it. But I mean, that's just one of the things of game development. Sometimes you start working on something because you think it'll be like super you think it'll be super interesting, and then it's not. I mean, plain and simple. That just happens sometimes. Oh, that's it. I know about the mini dispenser. But I think the mini dispenser was like ages ago, though. I don't think that was Spy vs. Engineer. I remember Spy vs. Engineer had a lot of stuff, like a bounce pad and like just a lot of stuff. I think the mini dispenser was back during the normal Engineer update when they added the mini sentry. That was one of the things they were making for it, but it never went anywhere. They took it out because it wasn't, it didn't make any sense. They couldn't balance it the right or something like that. But Spy vs. Engineer, I'm like 90% positive it was either the mini dispenser. It was dog shit. I'm like 90% positive the Engineer update was when they were working on the mini dispenser. Because it would fit, right? Because they added the mini sentry, so it would make sense they'd want to add the mini dispenser along with it. But they couldn't balance the mini dispenser. Or maybe it was the repair node I'm thinking about. Explosive sapper. I got a headache. I got a terrible headache. It's weird. Oh. I might have to stop. My head is hurting so bad. I want to see how much metal I got. Ooh. Look at all this metal. This is weird. Why do I have this? Take my iron supplements? I don't take iron supplements. I'm a man. What are they doing in here? Who's the trade-off? Oh. I love Team Fortress 2 and how it just randomly devolves into matches full of friendlies for no reason, it seems. Like, that match started out like as an actual, like... What do you think if they added back... They'd never had animated war paints, I don't think. I don't think, anyway. I mean, maybe they did. Anyway, it's gonna be it, I think. I gotta... Yes, spells. You do not know the great lag? The great lag. I don't know what the great lag is. What is the great lag? What is the great lag? I'm scared. Terrified. I've never heard of animated war paints. I'm looking this up. Got a fire extinguisher for Christmas? I'm looking, I don't quite see any information about animated war paints at all. I see where some people have made them. I don't see anything about one ever having actually been added to the game. So that's neat. Anyway, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go, probably take a nap, get rid of this headache. Gonna feed the cat. Here she is. Here she is. This is Bella. She's so cute. She's so sleepy. Lots of people will tell you the opposite. Well, I mean, if they got any information about it, give it to me. I mean, but I've Googled animated war paints, TF2. I see people who have made them. I do not see where anybody has actually spoken about them or like added them ever. I feel like that would be like, I mean, of course I do see them, they exist, but you know, I don't know. I don't see anything about it. I don't see anything about them being ever added, like actually added. TF2 spells, I don't. You're saying TF2 spells. I don't understand what that is. Like, I know what spells are, but I don't see how they pertain to war paints. They had a spell that was animated? It's okay. I want them to have animated spells. Anyway, I'll see you later. Goodbye. Hopefully we'll do this again soon. After New Year, maybe. See you later. Goodbye.